Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday morning. The idea of today's discussion is to talk to you guys about our latest product that we have launched, which has now completed 4 months, which is Tyke Wealth, Theme 1 online payments. Now, the reason for setting up this call is to thank you for your support in helping us promote this product and making this product uh, highly adopted within our community. Uh, Before we get started, it's very important for us to explain to you what we're doing here at Tyke, what's our vision, and more importantly, what are we doing at Tyke Wealth. Our vision at Tyke is to make investments in off-market simple, easy, low in risk, and high in return. Keeping that in mind, we started off with invoice discounting in the fixed income space, and now have also introduced a new product, which is Tyke Wealth. Now, a lot of people have asked us uh, details about Tyke Wealth Theme 1. They've asked us how does it work. They've also faced trouble in understanding the product in its detail. So let's spend today's session. I'll spend around 15 to 20 minutes explaining the product, how it works, what are the risks, what is the flow of capital, and why we feel it's a good portfolio allocation for you. And then we can spend the balance 10 to 15 minutes as well in just answering questions and making it a interactive discussion. So once again, I'm Karan Mehra, founder of Tyke. Uh, Today's discussion is about Tyke Wealth, Theme 1, online payments. A very interesting thing about Tyke Wealth is that although we launched this product just 4 months back on our investment platform, Tyke Invest, but this product has been running in beta with multiple HNI and multiple close set of users since the past 18 months now. And this product has provided us with the highest success in terms of achieving low risk and in terms of achieving comparatively higher yield. Now, what is Tyke Wealth? Tyke Wealth is nothing but our attempt to explore investment products in new age concepts or in the new in the new digital Bharat. To explain to you, we're basically picking up sectors, we're basically picking up concepts, we're basically picking up different opportunities that are coming our way as our country progresses, as our country becomes more digital. The first theme we chose inside Tyke Wealth was theme 1, online payments. Now, online payments is something which has been adopted in our country since the last 10 years, and UPI sort of just skyrocketed that growth. Today, more than, I guess, 100 million transactions are happening through. Now, payment gateways are basically rail guards or safe checks when it comes to an online transaction between two people. So today, when you're transacting on any digital platform to purchase their product or service, you most probably are using a payment gateway. The most common payment gateways in India are CC Avenue, Razorpay, Cashfree, EaseBuzz, and multiple banks have their own payment gateways as well. A payment gateway basically provides two services and in turn for that charges a fee. The job of a payment gateway is to make sure that every single transaction which happens between X and Y has a very high or a close to zero failure rate, meaning that the transaction should have a 99% or more success rate. And second, B, to make sure that any transaction which happens between two people is not fraudulent, which means it's happening for a purpose or for a reason which is genuine and which is completely legal. Keeping this in mind, online payments today are being used for every single transaction, be it a B2B transaction, be it your tax payments, or be it any transaction to purchase any goods or services for your personal use. Now, payment gateways provide these services by partnering with banks and multiple layers with RBI as well. and charge a small fee for it. The fee generally ranges between 2 to 3% of the transaction value. Generally, that fees is paid by the merchant who is receiving that payment. So in case you're making a payment to buy something on Amazon, that fees is paid by Amazon and it's not borne by you. Now, I guess with new innovations come new problems. Uh, the very interesting concept of a payment gateway is that a payment gateway requires minimum 1 and maximum 3 days to process your payment to you, meaning that any money that is coming to you as a merchant, it will be received by you within 1 to 3 working days. Now, this poses a heavy working capital problem to multiple merchants today who are receiving these payments from payment gateways. This typically means that if you're running a 3-day delay on a payment gateway and your business today is on a 30-day credit cycle, you're losing up to 10% of your working capital just at the payment gateway layer. Now, this started creating multiple working capital challenges to small merchants, big merchants. Basically, every single company out there was facing a challenge where they went back to their gateways and said, hey, you know what? We're not okay waiting for 2 or 3 days for our payment to be received by us, plus weekend coming in. So sometimes it became 5 working days till the payment sort of came in. Help us find a solution for this, and we're okay to pay a higher fee or pay some type of a compensation for the same to make sure that our payment is received by us the very next day after the payment has been made. Now, keeping this in mind, all payment gateways, bankers started figuring out solutions, and they came up with this very interesting product, which is very famous today in India, has an adoption rate of close to 33% across the gateway market. It's called instant settlements or real-time settlements. It's basically a feature where all payment gateways and online aggregators uh, settle the entire transactions that are being done towards a merchant, either real time or within, I would say, 12 hours of that entire transaction happening. This basically solved the working capital problem that multiple vendors were facing, multiple merchants were facing when it came to buying raw material and so on and so forth. Payment gateways did this by charging a small fee for the same. The fee was charged on top of the 2 or 3% that they charge as a part of their blended cost. Now, as the adoption of instant settlements or real-time settlements increased, uh, payment gateways started partnering with NBFCs, banks, and other lenders to figure out a way in which this type of financing can be provided to them for serving the instant settlement purpose. That's where we started off with the idea of online payments within Tyke Wealth. The idea was, can we build a financing tool which in turn finances the payment gateway's requirement of settling the money to the merchant on a real-time basis, and in turn build a very low risk and high quality, high yield product. Now, let me explain to you how is the risk low and how is the reward comparatively higher as compared to the risk category. It's very important to understand that at Tyke, we're working only with RBI approved payment aggregators and payment gateways, meaning all companies we work with are actively reporting to RBI and are actively working with a very strong security and cyber system. It's very important to understand how this transaction flows. I'll spend 30 seconds explaining the same. Merchant customer makes a payment on Amazon. Let's assume Amazon to be the merchant. They make the payment through a payment gateway, for instance, Razorpay. Razorpay, once the customer goes to the gateway and makes a payment, the customer is immediately debited. The money from their bank account, credit card, is debited immediately, and that money is also received immediately in the nodal account, or nodal, basically in the bank account of the payment gateway. Now the payment gateway has to run multiple risk checks, security checks, etc., and then only process the payment the next day, or 2 days after that, to the merchant. What the payment gateway is doing is, once it receives the money from the customer, it throws the MID, or the transaction ID, to the lender. Let's assume the lender over here to be an NBFC. Once the NBFC receives the transaction ID, the NBFC lends that much amount of money to the merchant via the payment gateway. Now the merchant has received that money real time, and the payment gateway also has that money kept with itself in its bank account, which in turn belongs to the NBFC. On T+1 or T+2, whatever cycle the merchant and the gateway are running, that payment now, instead of being settled to the merchant, is settled directly to the NBFC. And this completes one particular cycle. Like this, there are approximately 5 cycles which run within a week on any payment gateway. Tyke Wealth is our attempt to make sure that we can build a product out of this. Now, the instant settlement market today has grown leaps and bounds. It's being used for tax payments. It's being used for B2B transactions. It's being used for customer payments. It's being used for all your e-commerce transactions as well. The idea is very simple. How can we at Tyke build a product out of this? So what we did is we partnered with an NBFC, which is peer-to-peer. The reason we partner with a peer-to-peer NBFC is because that particular NBFC allows us to work with retail capital like yourself. We basically partner with an NBFC, which in turn partner with a P2P NBFC, where you will be investing your money. But typically what happens is your capital is invested in the P2P NBFC. The P2P NBFC has all of these payment aggregators and payment gateways and their merchants as their borrowers, as partners. And the same cycle continues through a P2P NBFC. Now, it's very important to understand that the scope of transactions that the NBFC is allowed to use your capital for is only what I explained to you. The NBFC does not hold the right to use your money for any other purpose or for any other scheme that it is running, maybe with other partners. We have bulletproof legal agreements to make sure that stays in place, which means that your money is only going to be used for this particular purpose, which is solving the 2 to 5 day arbitrage which the merchant faces in terms of getting his payments settled. Taking in consideration, what's very important to understand is the risk. Now, whatever money that you're settling, that the NBFC is settling ahead to the merchant, is already collected in full or more than that by the payment gateway. We also collect the transaction ID of the same. This goes to prove that your money is 100% covered by that amount of float maintained by the payment gateway. Your money is not sent ahead until the transaction ID is received by the NBFC. On T+2, when the repayment hits the NBFC, the loan is closed, and subsequently a new loan is created again on the third day itself. This makes sure that there is no transaction that is happening between the NBFC and the merchants which arises to any asset liability mismatch. So there's 100% asset liability mismatch. At the same time, whenever you're investing with us and when you ask for a withdrawal, Your money is coming back directly from the merchant, which means there is no secondary transaction happening as well. Your money is directly coming back from the source. The loan is being closed, and you're getting your repayment back. Let's talk about the features of the product in terms of investing. The maximum you can invest through the P2P route is 10 lakh rupees. If you have a net worth certificate, you can invest up to 50 lakh rupees as well per PAN. Your investment comes with a lock-in of 7 days, which means that our cycle starts on a Wednesday and ends on a Tuesday night. You can place a withdrawal request in this period and take your money out. The interest payment is weekly. The interest is paid to you every single week. And it will hit your Tyke wallet every Wednesday. Till now, we've managed more than 400 crores in this particular product within online payments. We have 100% on-time repayments and on-time withdrawals. And the total amount of earnings that have been distributed are north of 30 crores till now. This product has seen cycles. This product has gone through various ups and downs, but there's never been a challenge in repayment and in withdrawals because of the robust structure, low risk, and good yield that is being provided. Our returns start from 10% per annum, which is slightly better. Actually, I would say comparatively much better than all other alternatives available with respect to the risk and the liquidity involved. So highly liquid, no asset liability mismatch, no secondary transaction, and providing a return of 10% per annum. I think now let's open it up to questions. My team has been collecting questions and people can keep asking more questions on the chat box. The first question we have gotten is, how is this different from what Faircent has been doing since the last 7 to 8 years? That's a very interesting question, and I would like to address how is this different to all P2P platforms. It's very important to understand what is a peer-to-peer NBFC, what are the other products in the P2P space, and how are we different. A P2P NBFC is nothing but a vehicle which allows retail lenders to lend to basically retail, or I would say SME customers. Typically, P2P NBFC is being used for personal loans. Please try to understand the purpose for which your capital is being used. P2P NBFCs use your money for lending it for personal loans. They provide you a 30 or a 60-day tenure in which you can withdraw your money, but your money is given ahead for longer durations, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, maybe 18 months, maybe 24 months. The loan that you're giving is completely unsecured and it is being used generally as a personal loan. It's very important to understand that personal loans today are comparatively riskier, have no security, and are mostly being used for consumption purposes. The NPA in personal loans has always ranged between 5 to 8%, if not more. Additionally, most P2P platforms give you a feature to withdraw your money in a specific period of time. But it's very important to note that your capital is put ahead against borrowers where their repayment tenure is between 9 months to 36 months, which means that you're asking for your capital back within 30 days, but your money is only going to be received back from the lender, from the borrower, after a year. So do you realize the asset and liability mismatch that is happening in this product? This means that your money is being given back to you only with only through a secondary transaction, which I mentioned earlier. A secondary transaction typically means that when a new investor comes in, at the same time, your money is you're able to withdraw your money with the capital that the new investor brought in and not from the underlying loan. So I think from a risk and reward perspective and the features of the product, it is a very different product from all the existing products being offered that are rooted through a P2P NBFC. A P2P NBFC does not own its own book like any other NBFC. It is nothing but a special purpose vehicle approved by RBI, which allows retail lenders to lend to borrowers. Additionally, it's very important to understand on the follow-up question, they are comparing it to overnight merchant loans that Fairsend does. It's very important to understand that the nature of any type of merchant loan, which is not powered through a payment aggregator, is that you don't control the collections of that particular merchant. The collections are always controlled by the merchant himself. Hence, the ability to control repayment is beyond your control. In our case, if you try to understand, we have partnered with the payment gateways and payment aggregators, and the repayment is coming to us from the settlement that the payment gateways and payment aggregators are collecting. Hence, it's very important to understand that we have complete control on the repayment. Everything is powered through APIs and technology. There is no manual transaction that is happening, which also makes sure that we're able to run 3 cycles every week, which is T+2 into 3 cycles to give you a 7-day lock-in product and make sure there is no asset liability mismatch and you get your money on time. Which scenarios as an investor can I lose my capital and how can Tyke help with those scenarios? Very good question. The scenarios in which you can lose your capital are a few. First would be there could be a very big problem or a banking problem at the technology end or a banking collapse with the banker powering the payment gateways and payment aggregators. Now, how is this problem solved? This problem is solved because every single payment aggregator and payment gateway has more than 20 or 25 banking partners where they all divide their volumes. Hence, they're not dependent only on one particular banking partner. The second problem which you can face is the problem of chargebacks and the problems of disputes raised within these transactions or problem of fraud on the transaction. Now, it's very important to understand that all PAPG partners that we have, the cycle that we follow with them is completely independent of any chargeback, any dispute, any fraud. Meaning that the cycle of a chargeback, dispute, and fraud is only intimidated or is only triggered when the payment has already been settled to the payment gateway. Hence, the cycle is independent of any chargeback, dispute, or fraud. Our cycle will complete, and in case the money has to be refunded back, that's a separate manual cycle that is powered between the payment gateway and the customer. Hence, we're also immune to that. What we're doing at Tyke is we're trying to build a robust, low risk, high reward product, keeping in mind all of the risks and trying to figure out the probability of these risks happening. The probability of a banking collapse or the probability of the system overriding the concepts of fraud, chargeback, and disputes is very low, which is why we are confident of this product. How will Tyke monetize this product? So the way we're monetizing it is very simple, sir. What payment aggregators do is they basically charge a certain amount of fee, an additional fee for powering instant settlements to all the merchants who have opted for the same. They share a part of that fee with us as our commission, and they also are able to give you a return close to 10% per annum if you compound that fee on a daily basis into 360. So that's the way Tyke also makes money, and that's the way you also deliver your returns. Your returns are basically an outcome of the excess MDR that they're able to charge their customer for this service. Next question is, are you onboarding new investors? Yes, we are. We're onboarding new investors through our application, which is Tyke Invest. There's a section called Tyke Wealth Online Payments. You can go have a look. Whatever I've explained over here, there are investment notes on a detailed manner, videos, graphs, etc., explaining the same to you. You can have a look at that and you can immediately start investing. The cycles we run are from Wednesday to Wednesday. So it's a weekly cycle that we run, which means your money is invested on a Wednesday. You start earning from a Wednesday, and the cycle closes on Tuesday night, the next Tuesday. In case you continue to opt in, which is a mandate that we take from you at the time that you're investing, your money automatically gets reinvested in the new cycle, and you don't lose out on any days of interest. If you choose to opt out, which is basically ask for a withdrawal, your withdrawal will be powered to you and will be credited to you by Wednesday evening, which you can rightly withdraw. That's the cycle we follow. And we're offering 10% per annum. So whatever is the weekly interest on that for 7 days, that will also be credited to you every Wednesday in your particular Tyke pocket. You can withdraw the same, reinvest it. That flexibility is available with you. What is MTR? So it's MDR, it's merchant discount rate. It's the discounting rate or the discounting fees that the payment gateway charges the merchants for providing them the payment gateway facility. So in case if they're charging 2%, they'll probably charge 2%, and that 1% is basically shared between everyone who's a part of this transaction. Is Tyke registered as an NBFC or is lending through other NBFC? We're not an NBFC. We are lending through another NBFC, which is called RNVP Technologies Private Limited. You can find more details about them on our website, and you can also ask any RMF required. They are a RBI registered NBFC, which is peer-to-peer. How is the taxation on this for investors? The taxation for this on investors is very simple. The taxation on this is taxed, the income or the interest that you earn is taxed as income from other source as per your tax slab or tax rate. There is no tax on any principal investment and so on and so forth. So only on the interest income that you make, it is taxed as income from other source. Can you give me an illustration? If someone invests 10 lakhs and that money stays in rotation for 1 year, what will be the return net of charges? So if you invest 10 lakh rupees on our platform, which is Tyke Wealth, and you continue to stay put for 1 year, the return that you will make is basically as per 10% per annum paid weekly. So the return in terms of absolute figures will be close to around 10.5 or 10.6%, because the interest payment is paid to you weekly and it's not paid to you at the end of the year. Hence, taking in the concept that you will reinvest the interest as well, it will be around 10.5% in terms of absolute terms pre-tax. When I click on invest now in Tyke Wealth section, I get a message that we are working to onboard you real soon. So there are a few chances where this might happen. This might happen because you might be registering with a different type of an entity which we don't access yet. Or this could happen because you're already a registered user with the NBFC on the NBFC's platform. So what I would suggest to you, sir, is just contact anyone in our customer care. He'll get this problem solved and they'll get you onboarded with us, if not digitally, at least manually. Do payment aggregators need to be RBI registered? Yes, they need to be RBI registered. Which PAPGs are onboarded? We're working with multiple of them. For example, ReadyPay, PayThrough. We're also working with a lot of bankers, Wanghi, through the ICICI Net Banking portal. We're also working with Go Payments, and we're working with Decentro. So we're working with multiple PAPGs, which are all RBI registered entities as per the recent regulation that came in. I think that's the amount of questions I have received regarding Tyke Wealth. Sure, Vijayji, we'll share the RBI registration certificate of the NBFC that I just mentioned. You can just contact customer care. We'll get that shared to you. What if the NBFC is facing a liquidity crunch by any chance? Is there any chance that we might lose the capital? Very good question, sir. Uh, what's important to understand is that our product does not work like a bank where there are deposits which are lying around and then there are loans given and the matching is happening as per cash balance. Your money is being used for the same purpose, for the same duration, for the same time. In case so it's very important to understand that if you're given money when it's 7 days, the borrower is also using that money from Wednesday to Wednesday for 7 days. The amount of money that you're giving, 120% of that is lying as float with the PAPG. 120% on at the end of the 7th day, that money comes to us directly from there. So it's very important to understand that the risk that you're running is not on the ability for the merchant to repay, but is on the ability of the PAPG to maintain the float and run the entire payment gateway cycle for 7 days. It's, if you look at it in the sense, it is more of trying to solve the problem of time value of money more than anything. So there is no chance where that can happen. Slightly, very low chance, rather, I would say. The low chance I already explained in terms of risk, which is banking collapse and overriding systems of dispute, fraud, chargebacks. It's difficult to choose the payment gateway. Someone asked, can we choose the payment gateway? It's difficult to choose the payment gateway because all the payment gateways we're working with are running in the same manner with the same concept. And the systems are built that way in terms of API integrations, but that's a good feedback for us, which we can work on. So thank you so much for that. Currently, it's difficult, but maybe we can build a system where there are options to, pick and choose your combinations. Someone is asking what is PAPG? PAPG is the short form or abbreviation of payment aggregators and payment gateways, which basically power all your digital transactions today. Yeah. Uh, any more questions, guys, regarding the product, which I'd be happy to answer? You have 10 lakh, someone has said they have 10 lakh rupees invested on different platforms for P2P lending. Will I be able to invest in? So if you have, the rule is that the maximum you're allowed to invest is 10 lakhs across all platforms. However, if you have a net worth certificate, which proves your net worth to be more than 50 lakhs, then you can invest up to 50 lakhs. Someone from my team can definitely guide you in terms of how to get that certificate and sort of proceed ahead. What is API? API is nothing, ma'am, but basically a technical language which basically allows two systems to communicate between each other. So that is more on the tech side. I don't think that affects the product. I was trying to communicate that all transactions which happen are all powered by code and are not manually done. It's named as Tyke Wealth Theme 1. So more products under Tyke theme and varieties in the future. Yes, that's correct. We're planning on launching multiple themes within Tyke Wealth, which focus on different sectors, different uh, risks, different rewards, different returns, different tenures. So we're going to be building multiple more themes within Tyke Wealth, uh, which allows you to diversify your investment. The idea is that we want to be able to give you so many products where the risks and rewards of all products cumulatively give you a strong and a healthy portfolio. Can we make these instruments more tax efficient? Actually, the taxation of the same is similar to how fixed deposits work. Uh, because the income earned by you is in terms of interest and not capital gain, it's difficult to tax it otherwise. I think we will have to sort of go ahead with the structure which is given to us by RBI. Our target with Tyke Wealth is to increase the AUM by 50 crores monthly, which means you want to target reaching 800 crores by hopefully end of this financial year. Uh, we'll keep taking feedback from everyone. We'll keep working with you guys to figure out how do we increase your comfort in this particular product. This product also, by the way, has an SIP option to invest in. So in case people forget to invest or they want to invest smaller amounts, starting as low as 5,000 rupees, SIP option is also available. I'll take the last question. If anyone has one, just let me know. It's difficult to create LLPs in this structure because of various legal challenges that LLPs might face. Uh, the best trick to do this particular product is through the NBFC. However, LLPs are allowed to invest in the NBFC. So in case you have an LLP which wants to invest, that is allowed. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being on this session. I apologize for my bad health, but I hope I was able to explain the product better. If anyone has any more questions, please write to our team or you can write directly to me as well at tykeinvest.com. I'll be happy to answer the same and see if we can, make this product a very interesting one. Thank you.